All right, thank you everyone for joining our April Eloqua user group meeting hosted by Sojourn Solutions and Oracle Eloqua. We have a great agenda for you today, so we're going to go ahead and just dive in and get started. I guess just briefly, I think we all know how it works. If you do have any kind of any question or comments, please put them into the Q&A and we will try to address them live during the user group. If we're not able to for any reason, we will definitely follow up and add them into the follow-up email or just follow up with you individually, depending on what you need. So we will move forward. Here we go. I am your group leader, Kristin Connell with Sojourn Solutions. I have been in the space for 20 plus years. 20 plus is a nice round number as a marketing practitioner, consultant, and project manager. I've actually been in the Eloqua ecosystem for 15 years, both as a consultant and a customer. Certified administrator for both Eloqua and Salesforce over the years. Couple marquee award nominations and a win in 2016 for one of my favorite topics, metrics that matter. I also have just kind of a wide variety, honestly, of more tech stack experience, along with a couple maps, some marketing attribution tools, a CMS, etc. Some of my favorites listed there. And then, as I mentioned, with the timeline, started in Eloqua March 2007. Switched to the client side in 2011 and then came back to consulting here at Sojourn in 2016. Actually just celebrated my 7 years at Sojourn. So you all celebrate with us today. I don't have any cake, sorry. But I think we're going to be good. It's only an hour. So we'll have this month's spotlight, which will be a little bit different this month based on some feedback that I've gotten from folks from this last call. Our community reminders, and then we will have our first featured speaker, Alex Robinson from Sojourn. He will be presenting on Eloqua lead management program tracking tip. And then we'll have Alexa Kalapaca from Oracle speak to the new Redwood user interface and a little bit more of a sneak peek into release 23B that's coming up next month. We'll have our open forum, and then we'll just do a quick reminder on our next Eloqua user group meeting. So we're going to go right into this month's spotlight. So our spotlight every month is just, it varies. We do a lot of different things here. This month specifically, I wanted to take just a bit of time and slip in a couple polls. We don't do polls very often during the user group, but in this case, some of the feedback I'd received over this last month in terms of potential topics of interest led me to say, okay, I really want to get more feedback from our user group at large to determine maybe what to focus on and how to prioritize these. So we'll have 3 quick polls. Making marketing workflow, activating marketing data, and integrating AI into marketing. That one kind of gives itself away. Really would appreciate you being participating in these. Again, this is really for the purposes of being able to better direct our conversations moving forward on these topics. Did find out that Zoom will only let me do a poll during our webinar. I can only do a survey after, and I really wanted to get these in while we had everyone's attention. So that's why they are polls. If they look a little funny, it's like, well, yeah, this would probably have been a better survey, but this is just how we did it. So first of all, we're going to start with making marketing workflow. I promise these are really quick. 2-3 questions each. Let me get this first one launched. Making marketing workflow. So, oh, good. We've already had it rolling. Did I already have that? Oh, I did have it rolling. So if you haven't answered it yet, I actually do have. So what project management solution does your marketing organization use? Check all that apply. If you don't use a project management solution, how is marketing work managed? Again, just select all that apply. And then third, if you're interested, just a question to find out if you're interested in learning more about how to improve your marketing workflow. I didn't realize this had been going. Apologies, guys. Yeah, it looks like I'd let that roll for a while. So it looks like we have, we'll just give this one one more minute here since I actually pulled it up and launched it officially. Thank y'all for getting ahead. Should have known you would. Appreciate that. Yeah, because we did have some folks talking about, how to best manage what they're doing in terms of operational effectiveness. I had some questions around that topic specifically, how to save time with the campaign planning and the campaign workflows. That was another one of the questions that led to this poll. So we're just going to see what we can do to be able to get some more information out to you and get it presented in a helpful way. Okay, it looks like pretty much everyone has participated here. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up. And I will plan on sharing our results. Let's see, let's just pop this up here. And I apologize, my screen just froze. Of course it did. Let's see if I can get out of this. Maybe it's just the poll. Here we go. All right. So if you didn't get a chance to look at those results again, I'm gonna share these in our follow-up email. So if we can get any additional feedback, I'm gonna go ahead and launch our second poll on our automating marketing data now. Again, I was getting some questions about data warehouses, data sources, integrating data sources. So some about CDPs. So just 3 quick questions. Does your organization own a CDP? Simple yes, no, I'm not sure. If yes, does marketing use it? Again, yes, no, I'm not sure. And then if marketing doesn't use it, is it in marketing's roadmap, say the next 12 to 24 months to use it? Just to get a sense of how relevant and valuable this might be to you and your teams right now. Definitely a lot of conversations going on about CDPs and different data layers, data architecture, composability within your stacks, all of that, tons of great resources in the space right now, trying to look to see how we can make this most relevant, for ourselves as it's an Eloqua user group. Looks like we have almost everyone's been able to answer here. We'll just give it another maybe 10 seconds. Try to keep these really simple for everyone. All right, looks like I'll go ahead and wrap this one up. And again, I will share those results in our follow-up. And then integrating AI into marketing. Had a lot of questions, again, focused around operational effectiveness. Literally just how are you currently using ChatGPT or similar tools? Google's Bard tool, Jasper is another one in the market. So does your marketing organization currently use ChatGPT? Yes, no, I'm not sure. If so, how is it being used? Multiple choice, pick any of those options there, any of those that would apply. And then if your marketing organization is not currently using ChatGPT or a similar tool, again, is it in the roadmap for the next 6 to 12 months? There's definitely, in the bit of research I did here, a lot of interesting real life applications going on in our space, in and around leveraging AI, and not just ChatGPT, Bard, or Jasper or similar tools, but definitely in other areas as well. Can definitely see how this could help prove and improve marketing's impact. All right, you all doing great. Just about everyone participated. Just give it a couple more seconds here. And nope, still have some people voting. All right, it looks like my old eyes. Yep, looks like we have just about everyone in on this. I'll give everyone just a few more seconds to wrap up. Speed round. We'll finish this one up. And okay, I'm going to go ahead and end the poll. Thank you all so much. Again, I promise I'm going to share those results. Zoom's being a little bit weird with me trying to do that here. I'm going to share those results in our follow-up email. I guess that means that hopefully you'll be reading it that way. And then let me see if it will let me get out of the poll option. Here we go. All right. So we should be back to what the poll. Alex, Alexa, is that the screen you're seeing now? Back to the spotlight?
Yes.
Thank you, gracias. All right, moving forward. I promise y'all don't have to push any more buttons unless you want to do a Q&A, and please do. But so our community reminders, welcome to our Oracle Topliners community. As that first reminder, if you are not currently a member of the Topliners community, definitely recommend that you pull this link out and join up. Tons of great content from Oracle and the Oracle team, as well as from the community itself on so many great topics. Our second item here is our release reminders in Oracle Topliners. There is the Release Center link here is what I provided. You know, anything coming out in a release is going to be posted here. So it's definitely one that you'll want to stay on top of. And then finally here on the far right, you can watch any of our previous Oracle Eloqua user group recordings. We host those on Sojourn's Resources Hub, and you can go back to 2020 if you'd like and view any of those. Some of them, again, most of them should have an agenda there, so you can quickly look at those to see if they'd be of interest, and you can check those out. So quickly to release reminders. I'm not going to steal all the thunder from Alexa, who's coming up later in our user group, but I just wanted to call out that the upcoming 23B release is happening in May. Again, I've pulled out the specific page link here for the 23B release info on this screen. Get logged into Topliners and navigate to this page for a lot more information. Just here, I wanted to call out the release dates. That's going to start in May. As I said, May 5th is when it starts. It looks like it's kind of moving across the pods a little bit differently, May 5th, and then coming down to May 6th for pod 7, rolling back into 3, 4, and 6 on the 19th. Our next user group meeting is actually on the 18th, so we'll kind of be in the midst of it when that happens. Just make sure you're aware of what's coming down out of this release and how that might impact anything that you're doing or want to do. And again, Alexa's going to talk more about what's coming out in the release and what that looks like later in our user group. Then to wrap up on community reminders, just 3 quick resource reminders on free user training in Eloqua's Help Center. If you're looking for something very specific in terms of feature or functionality training, the videos there in the Help Center are great to get you up to speed quickly. If you're new to Eloqua or have new team members onboarding, or maybe you just need to refresh your Eloqua knowledge, the Eloqua Explorer option through Eloqua University in the MyLearn portal definitely get you moving forward there, get you some traction. And then Oracle's YouTube channel, the Oracle Eloqua YouTube channel, is the last link listed there. Again, a ton of great content, very specific functionality and features pulled out, and how-tos and tips on their YouTube channel as well. All right, moving forward. All right, moving into our featured presentation section of our user group today. First up is Alex Robinson from Sojourn. Alex will be speaking on Eloqua Lead Management Program Tracking tip. Alex is a senior marketing automation consultant with Sojourn. He's has over 15 years experience in a variety of roles. He is certified and experienced in Oracle Eloqua, as well as a couple other similar platforms. He started working in marketing automation in 2007 for Eloqua. So he and I had a little bit of it's a small world moment when we were prepping for this. I hadn't realized when he had joined Sojourn that we had both started in Eloqua, in the Eloqua ecosystem the same year. So it's a very small world, as I'm sure y'all have found out. And if you haven't, you will. It's a good thing, believe me. And then Alex is based in Toronto, Canada. So Alex, I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing and hand it over to you.
Well, thank you, Kristin.
Yes.
Let's get my screen up here. And you should now see Eloqua.
I do.
Excellent. Well, thanks for joining, everyone. Today, I'm going to give you a little tip and a little trick to track your entry and exits into your lead management program stack. You can also use this as well for any sort of campaign journeys or connected campaigns. It's a very good way of monitoring your entry and exit points into your lead management program stack. As well, it's a tool to use for troubleshooting if you're having issues and you don't know where people are coming in or how they're exiting. This is a very good tool to add on to your processes to facilitate and assist with any troubleshooting. So there's a number of assets that we need to build and to get things ready for this. First thing you're going to need is you're going to need to install the Form Submit Action app in your app cloud in Eloqua. This is a free app directly from Oracle Eloqua, so it doesn't cost anything. There's actually no configuration required. So it's very easy to install and set up. So that's the first thing you're going to need. Next thing you're going to need to do is you're going to need to build a CDO to have all of your data. So we're going to go to custom objects. And you'll see that I've already built it. So I'm going to walk you through the setup. So you only need to have the email address field and email address fields connected. It doesn't require unique code. You could put email address in here if you like. It wouldn't make any difference. So that's the general setup for your lead tracking CDO. Now you're going to have some fields here to assist with the data tracking. You're going to need email address because you need to have that CDO linked to your contact record. You're going to have a contact processing entry date time. That's going to be a date field. You're going to have a contact processing entry point. That's going to be the text value of where your contact entered. You're going to have a contact processing exit date time. So that's going to be the same. It's going to show you the exit date time. Again, that's a date time field. And you're going to have your contact processing exit point. And this is, again, your text field, which is going to show you your text value for the exit point in your process. So once you have your CDO set up, you're then going to need to build a form to control everything. So you can see here, I've just named it System Lead Tracking. And you're going to have a few fields here that's going to require setup. So you're going to need your email address field, your contact processing entry date time, contact processing entry point, contact processing exit date time, contact processing exit point, your entry processing and exit processing. So this one is just going to control the date time entry. That's going to be your static value for the naming of your entry point. This is going to be your exit date time for the exit stamp, and then your text field for the exit point value. Then entry processing and exit processing are to tell the form if it's an entry or if it's an exit. So you're only usually going to use one or other of these when you're actually doing the form submit, but you need both of them on the form. So the actual processing for this, it's not too difficult. All you have is your save, update contacts with form data. The only thing you need here is the email address. We're not storing any contact data on the CDO. Then you have 4 conditional steps here. One is going to be your contact entry point. This is going to save the text value from your form submit into the CDO. So let's say I'm entering because of a form submit, it would save form submit entry into the CDO. Then you have a contact entry date stamp. This is a custom update custom object value with custom data. All you're going to do here is use your contact processing and entry date time, and then you're applying a date stamp here. Again, all these fields need to map to email address, and you need to set this to the CDO we created. Then, of course, you have your contact exit point. This is going to say the exit point static text value that you decide on. And you have your exit date stamp. Again, a custom update with custom value, and you're going to be processing that custom contact processing exit date time with a date stamp. All of these are conditional, and you're going to set the entry, date stamp, and entry point to your entry processing exactly yes. So you can see I've done that here. That's going to be the form field, not a contact. I know it says contact here, but this is actually your set to your form field entry processing. So it's going to be the same for your entry point and your entry date stamp. So entry processing exactly yes. Then for your exit points, so your exit point here, you're going to see that it's going to be exit processing exactly set to yes. And your exit date stamp, again, conditionally set to exit processing exactly yes. So that's how you set up your CDO, and that's how you set up your form. This is going to be used for collecting the data as your contacts enter and exit the process. So now what I've done is I've set up some little test programs to visualize how this actually all works. Oh, sorry, there is one more thing you have to do. My apologies. You do have to, it's not required, but you absolutely should set up a CDO cleanup program. The reason we do this is because if you're using it on a high volume lead management tracking process, let's say you're getting thousands of records flowing through a day, or you have a very large campaign where thousands of contacts are flowing through your campaign. The idea behind this is to set up a program. It's going to be a custom object program, and you can see it's configured to the same CDO, system lead tracking. The goal is to clean things up after, let's say, 90 days. You can set this to 10 days, 7 days, 90 days, a year. But the idea is that you don't want millions of records to pile up in this CDO, system tracking CDO, over a length of time. You really only want to use this as troubleshooting and maintenance and monitoring. So after, let's say, 90 days or whatever you decide you want the wait step to be configured to, is that it's just going to go ahead and delete this custom object record. And again, this whole process is for monitoring and tracking. So if somebody went in, 6 months ago, you may not need that data anymore. So this just keeps the CDO lean and mean, and the numbers low on the CDO. So if you ever want to extract that data or filter on that data, it's not going to be millions of records. You're going to have, maybe 100,000 or tens of thousands in there. It's going to be a lot easier for you to monitor and troubleshoot. So this essentially just captures the CDO on creation. So every time a new custom object is created through that form submit, it's just going to enter into this program, wait your allotted time, and then it's going to delete that custom object record. Again, you can set this to whatever you want. So I would recommend 90 days, but you can extend or minimize that depending on your needs for this process. So I'm going to just make sure this is activated. There we go. Now I've set up some demo programs to kind of visualize how this works. So we have our demo entry program. This just kind of mimics what you would have in your lead management program stack as like a new contact program. I do realize some people on the call may have a single Salesforce integration program, whereas some others may have a more complex stack with like an entry program, bogus program, scoring and rating, and then finally the integration program. You can use this process for either. If you have a single program, you would put your steps, your form submit steps at the beginning and at the exit. If you have a multiple layered lead management program stack, you would just put the entry points in here, and then you would put a form submit at every exit point. So that's critical to do. So essentially what you have here is just a mimic of your entry points for your lead management program stack. So you have, let's say, a listener for your form submissions. Maybe you have something for your MQL qualified leads, maybe the lead score changes. You can actually do that in here. So lead scoring model, you can set people to be fed in if lead scoring changes. And then maybe you have something for list uploads, so something that monitors or collects any list uploads. Now, what you have here is your entry point. So I have 3, one for each, one for form set, one for MQL, one for list uploads. In this step, you are going to configure your form submission to the form we created, which will again collect and retain that data in the CDO. So I'm going to click on my little pencil here to show you how that's set up. So you only need to set your email address, the date and timestamps are going to be controlled on the form. So you actually don't need to set those at all. And then for an entry form submit step, you need to put entry processing yes. I set it to a static value of yes. And then for your entry point text value, you set it to a static value for this one would be form submit. So really only you're setting your email address, your entry point, and tell it the entry processing. This is an entry processing of yes. So the only difference in the other ones here are going to be the text value. So if I close this and look at MQL, you can see the only thing that I've changed here is the static value for the entry point. That's going to be MQL scoring. And then same for lead tracking list upload. Take a look at that one. We're going to have a value of list upload. Now, once you've taken care of all your entry points into your program stack or your campaign journey, you're going to need to also mark all of your exit points. So I've done this both here and in my sample integration program. So as an example, I've just done a simple filter. This isn't actually bogus detection. It's just looking for a few of my test records and it's going to kick them out of the program. So you can see here, if they are marked as a bogus or, they're kicked out anywhere in your program or campaign journey, what you need to do on every exit point is you need to, again, call the form, submit app, and you need to tell it again to stamp the exit point. So for this one, you'll see that it's going to be slightly different. So again, it's always going to do the email address, the date and times handled on the form. This is an exit point, so the enter point is going to remain as none. And my contact processing exit point is a static value of bogus detected. And the exit processing needs to be told to have a value of yes. So this triggers the additional steps for an exit stamp and exit process. So you can see here, this is bogus detected. Now, I've also done this on my exit program. So I'm not going to save anything here. So my exit program is basically just an example of what your integration program would look like. Again, I didn't put any fancy stuff in here. All I've done is I've marked my test records that I'm going to run in a moment with just a simple value here I can show you. I've given them the lead ID. So when a lead is created in your integration program, it stamps a lead ID and you know if a lead was created or not. So I can, I'm just manually putting in that into the contact record for demonstration purposes. So for the demo, let's pretend you have a create lead call prior to this create lead step. This just confirms that the lead was created. So when I upload my test record, it's going to say, hey, yeah, the lead was created. And my exit step for this program is going to be lead tracking lead created. And you can see here in my form submit app setup that I've done an exit. So exit processing static equals yes. The contact processing exit point is going to be static lead created, and then you don't need to configure any of the other steps. Let's say some of your leads failed. They're not returning a lead ID. You want to mark them as failed. So you'll know that the lead ID wasn't created. You can go back and troubleshoot. So in this step here, the only thing I've changed is the static value for the contact processing exit point. So has a value of lead creation failed. And again, exit processing is static value of yes. So that's how you set up your entry and exit points with the form submit app. And now we're going to run a quick demo. So I'll show you how it all works. So I'm going to activate my program here. I'm going to go back to my new contact program. And I already have a segment. For the purpose of today's demonstration, I didn't want to split everything out. But if you do have, if I had 3 segments here, they would all be tracked and stamped with the different entry points. So all of ours today are just going to have form submit. So I just need to find my demo segment that I've created. So I've already uploaded the list I showed you into a segment, created my segment, and I'm going to save and activate. And this should only take about 30 seconds to run. So you can see they're going into the stamp. They're all going to be marked as coming in through a form submit. This should only take a few seconds. And now you can see the 4 that I selected as bogus are going to get pulled out and exited and stamped as bogus detected. The other ones have flowed through into the integration program. So we'll go take a peek over there. You can see now that the 6 records that I marked with a lead ID have been pulled appropriately into the lead tracking lead created, and the 3 that remain are going to be stamped with the lead creation failed. And they're done. So that shows and stamps the CDO with all my entries and all my exit points. And what you can do now is if we go to the custom object, we can see all of those values. So I'm just going to pull up my CDO, and you can look at your data directly here, custom object record data. You can also access it through here. So we're just going to access the record data, and we're going to take a look and see at everything that's happened here. I'll just make this a little more visible. So you can see in my contact processing entry date time, they're all stamped with the actual entry time into that program based on the form submit app. All my contact processing entry points are form submission. If I had split this through the 3, you would see, you know, a third in form submit, a third in MQL, and a third list uploads. And you can see the contact processing exit date time was stamped and my contact processing exit point. So you can see here the ones I marked for bogus, and I just did this with a simple filter. Obviously, your bogus detection program would be a lot more complex, but I marked them as bogus detected. So we know that these 4 contacts were exited from the bogus detection program, and they never made it to the integration program. Then you can see here that I have my leads were created. So lead created, lead created, lead created, and lead created. So that's my 6 successful examples of a lead being created. And you can see the 3 here that the lead failed. And that's because, of course, they did not have a lead ID value here. And we know that that lead creation failed for those records. So that's how you look at the data on a whole. You can also look at it on a contact level. So if you're trying to troubleshoot a specific contact, let's pick one of the bogus ones. So we'll do the first one here. So if I look at my individual contact record, and I look at the linked record, you can see that there's a system lead tracking. And then I look at my record for that. And you can see that I came in on a form submission and I was removed for bogus detection. So bogus detected. If I looked at one of my successful lead creations, let's take a look at this one. Again, I can click in here, look at my linked records and system lead tracking, and look at my form submit record. And I can see that I was entered as a form submit and I was successfully created as a lead on the exit point. So that's essentially it. It takes a little bit of time to build. So you probably an hour or 2 to build all the components. A little bit more complicated to go through your entire lead management program stack and put in your appropriate exit points and your appropriate entry points. But once you got that all set up and working, it's a great little tool for management, tracking, and troubleshooting. And that concludes my demo.
All right, thank you, Alex. I do have, it looks like some comments here. Maybe, let's see, problems with using form submission is the issue with lead getting stuck in the queues, is a comment. And then basically this approach will need checking the process periodically for the queue issue.
Yes, that is correct. Occasionally, this usually only happens during an Eloqua update. Is that people can get stuck in there. So it does require a bit of monitoring to those form submit apps. But as long as you check it on a regular basis, it only takes a few seconds to go into the program and check. Usually you should be checking your critical programs daily or at least every couple of days anyways. So there is a little bit of pro and con to this. Yes, they can get stuck in there. But if you are doing your job and you're checking your integration programs on a regular basis, you should be able to easily avoid that and just reset them.
Okay, and actually that leads maybe into this final comment. Hope that there will be an alert system to send notification emails when leads are stuck in the queue within a certain time period.
Yeah, so there isn't a current process for that.
Currently. Okay.
Yeah. What you could do is you could base it off the CDO. So what you could do is you could build a segment and filter to check this. So if you have somebody where their entry point and their exit point don't align to the same day, you could easily build a segment to monitor those values within the CDO, and you could just look at the segment and say, hey, something's not right here with these particular contacts.
Yeah, definitely worth taking a look at, given the investment all of us are making into attracting and engaging with leads.
Yeah, and I am actually building this into. I'm doing a very large overhaul with one of our enterprise kind of level clients, and they have literally about 10 programs in their lead management program stack. And that I did raise that with them. Like I advised, yeah, they had a lot of problems with looping and contacts not being difficulty troubleshooting contacts. So I did advise that, yeah, there is a possibility of people getting stuck in there, but they outweighed it and said we check these programs on a daily basis anyways because we have tens of thousands of people flowing through.
Yeah.
So they check every day, and they felt it wasn't a major issue because they do actually go and take a look at things on a daily basis. So they absolutely love the idea, and they said, yeah, this is an issue. We're going to go in and check people in there daily. Again, if you're not checking your programs on a daily or every couple days, that could lead to people getting stuck. Generally, I've only seen it happen when there's an update, like a major Eloqua update. Sometimes these apps pause. So what we do for this client and actually a few other clients is we run a systems check every Eloqua update. So we'll go into their critical programs and check all major points where leads or contacts can get stuck in those programs. So that's something that we do anyways for contacts, sort of some of our customers.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like a good practice for everyone to make sure that they're following. All right. Thank you so much, Alex. I'm going to go back to the next presentation, or I guess any more, let's see, any more Q&A? Let's see. We do have actually another comment here. Shouldn't the form submit app have an error processing wait step?
Absolutely.
Apps, yeah.
So if you want to do that, so that's personal preference. You can either look at the program to see people stuck in there, or if you wanted to add in, so I'll do a quick share again, briefly.
Okay, yep, let me stop. There you
So
go.
that's not difficult to add. Let me just share my screen. So if you wanted to add that in, you could easily do that. So let me just deactivate the program. So if you want to actually add that in, you could just do a wait step here. So this would be your form submit app failure. You can literally put this down to something as simple as 0.01 hours, which is only a couple of minutes. And then in the routing step, you just simply automatically route contacts from errors in the step, and then just choose like this. That's going to prevent people that do get stuck or errored out to attempt to reprocess them. So absolutely recommend that if you do want to do that. Some people like to actually visually see where they got stuck. But if you do want that, that's very simple to add. And you just add one for each of the steps in that program.
Okay. So any other comments? Questions? All right. Then we will move forward. Thank you again, Alex.
You're welcome.
Make sure I can move. Here we go. All right. So next up is Alexa Kalapaca from Oracle. She's a principal product manager at Oracle. Alexa has been working with Eloqua since 2016. She has a variety of aspects she focuses on within the B2B marketing products, one of which is bringing the new Redwood, say that 5 times fast, experience to Eloqua. So Alexa is in a small farming community near Collingwood, Ontario. And Alexa, I need pictures of this next one next time, but when you're not at work, you're waiting for winter so you can get back to curling. so for the next user group, we need pictures. I need to add some pictures around this. We want to see
Let's
those.
do a live event. We can all go curling together.
Oh, I would love that. I don't know if that's in our user group budget, but I'll check. All right, with that, I'm going to pass it over to you to share and keep rolling. Now, I think this will take us probably right up to time, folks. So just I will send a follow-up reminder after we're all done here. And If you have any questions, feel free to post them as we go through. But yeah, getting right into the good stuff here.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm really happy to be here and to walk you through in a little more depth about what we're launching with 23B with our new Redwood experience. So you've already seen this. Alexa Kalapaca. I'm really focused right now on the Redwood experience for the Eloqua side, but I've also worked with analytics as well as sales tools. You've probably seen me up on top liners before, so do shoot me a message if you have any questions that come up today. So because we're looking a little bit forward, again, just our safe harbor statement, things can change, and that's what this is for. So today we're going to look at, I'm going to introduce you to the Redwood experience, give you a live demo. Hopefully it's all going to go fine. If not, I do have a video captured just so we can get through it. We'll go through a little bit more about the controlled availability and the details around that. And we'll also take a quick look about the rest of the roadmap for this year in terms of the Redwood experience. So before we jump into Redwood, I did want to just talk a little bit about how we got here. So highlighted here are some of the areas that we're focusing in on at Oracle Marketing. I want to reiterate what hopefully you've heard several times over by now, but Oracle Marketing continues to invest in all of our solutions, including Eloqua. And above all, we remain focused on building features and capabilities that customers continue to enhance their customer experience, that you in turn can easily build intelligent, connected experiences for your customers, differentiate your marketing programs, and really personalize at scale. So if we focus on that whole enhancing our customer experience, great customer experience starts with great experiences for you. And with Eloqua Redwood experience and our Eloqua UX, we're really investing in that UX and your experience. And in fact, Forrester has really validated what we're doing here. They say that UX is good for business. It really, it's a good UX improves CX, and that will help drive customer loyalty, which is really what we should all be shooting for. So let's take a look at what we're doing with 23B. So hope you've heard by now that in 23B, you'll have your first chance to begin interacting with Eloqua's Redwood experience. So just to take a step back, Redwood is Oracle's award-winning user experience. It's a design system that's driving all their interactions of newer Oracle products. It allows Oracle to deliver that consistent, high quality, easy to use applications. So you'll really be seeing this experience across the Oracle stack, across all the suite, especially if you're an Oracle, have multiple products with Oracle. So in 23B, we're launching that Redwood experience, and it's going to be available within a controlled availability program. So if you're new to Eloqua, controlled availability means that you make the request to opt into it. So you can choose to opt in for yourself or for everyone within your team. But once you do that opt-in and it's turned on, you're going to be able to access all of the new Redwood experience screens that we've built out for this release. And for 23B, that includes My Eloqua, which is your Eloqua homepage, contacts, accounts, microsites, and there's also campaign settings in there, which is a small little screen. And you'll be able to switch back and forth with the CA between the old UI and the new Redwood experience. So during the demo today, we'll look a little more at that and how that all works. So with that, I will jump in to the demo. All right, got to move our Zoom controls. Okay, so hopefully you're seeing Eloqua at this point.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, perfect. All right. So yeah, as we announced, gave you a sneak peek about the Redwood experience coming. One of the bits of positive feedback, and a lot of feedback actually that came in was how much you were looking forward to having this switch available to be able to turn on and off this functionality. We've been through UI rewrites before here at Eloqua, so I appreciate that. You know, there's a lot of changes that have to happen on your side with your users, and you want some time to be able to prepare for that. So this switch is going to let you do that. So we'll jump right in. So here we have our standard homepage, and I'll just note I am on a QA environment. Hopefully it all works out fine, but there's also not a lot of data here. So hopefully you guys have a lot more data than I do. So here's the Redwood switch available from the side menu, the hamburger menu, as so many people refer to it as. So when you make the switch, you'll get a reload, and then, and again, I'm on QA. This is a little bit slower than you'll have on production, but then you'll immediately get the rest of the Redwood experience loading. So immediately, hopefully you notice this isn't just like a rescan, like a change in coloring and CSS treatment. This really is a full rewrite. So we've made a lot of changes in here to really take advantage of everything that the Redwood design system gives us. So just quickly here on the database activity, we've changed to a stacked chart so that you can focus a little bit more in on those details. You do have the legend interactions available, similar to what you would have in your other Eloqua dashboards, to let you focus in on the numbers that you're looking for in particular. You still have access to all the recent activities that you've done within Eloqua, as well as recent activities from others within your instance. Shortcuts, here you'll still have access to the shortcuts you've created, but again, new interactions. I just got to get rid of your video, Karen, hiding my screen. You'll have new interactions to manage that as well. So you'll see a drawer popping out here. You can switch out your shortcut. The same shortcuts are all available. We have added a few new ones, such as Insight and some SMS shortcuts. So those of you that use the shortcuts, maybe you'll appreciate some of those new ones available, and lots of progress going to be presented to you. So previously we had campaigns on the side panel. You'll be able to access that here at the top tab. This is where you're getting into, you know, what campaigns are active, what's scheduled, what completed, all presented in this new kind of grid layout. You'll have sorting options for areas that, you know, where Eloqua supports the sort, and you can continue to access the interactions available for an item, for an object or a campaign from this actions menu. And you'll see this type of overflow treatment throughout Redwood as we go through today. So as I mentioned, scheduled, see what's upcoming, see what's completed. We've also added, this is new, only available within the Redwood experience, but the campaign ending. So these are campaigns coming to a close in the next 7 or 30 days. And just to highlight here, this, you know, is indicating we don't have any, and you'll have these call to actions in more places now to really help drive what to do next in these areas. So again, next 30 days, I think I have one, yeah, coming out, and you can continue to launch from by clicking, or launch the campaign from there by clicking on it. Okay, so let's go into contacts. So again, with Redwood, we're going to get things just out of the box. And one of those things out of the box is the support for multiple search terms. So here I'm going to search for contacts with the Oracle domain. And how about Gmail? So I can see, you can see that the search results increase there. I'm looking for either one of contacts with either one of these domains. So that's a new feature that you can build out a search with more details. It's easy to clear the search that you've done. So I'm going to look for Saida in particular. Okay, so we have a contact here. So just as we click the contact, you'll get some quick interactions or quick actions that you can take. And again, that same action column gives you all the other actions available. You'll be able to, with your, you'll still have access to all of your contact views, but you'll also be able within that view to turn on and off columns. You can rearrange them. Now, this isn't impacting the view itself. It's just impacting your current session with, with this view. So all that features, those features are there for you to use. And then, of course, most often we're in here auditing a contact, checking in on activities. So this is the new, we call it a fold out panel. So I'm horizontally scrolling using my wheel on my mouse so that you can get between the panels. Again, you'll have access to your views. So if I had a lot of fields available, I can get into all of the details here, including searching for fields. I can edit the contact if I, came in to make a fix. That's available as well. Your subscription features are still there, so you can use the subscription interactions to change the status. You can search for different groups, and you can update subscriptions again if you have the permissions to do so. In terms of campaign responses and the calendar interactions here, where we're giving you a date range, we're providing you with some predefined date ranges that you can use to hopefully make it a little bit easier or faster to do your search. And digging into activities. So again, I get the quick view here of the activities from this range. I can look at all of them by clicking that view more. We still have the same filters that you're used to. You can extend the time frames. And if we have those drill down capabilities available, such as campaign entry, then you'll still be able to get into those campaign details, entry details. Scoring, of course, you're probably checking scoring history in here, still available. This contact doesn't have any linked records, but same features are all there, that you'll still be able to drill into all the details that you're used to looking at today. So exiting out of contacts, we'll just go over to accounts. And here, it's very similar to contacts. So you'll notice that more and more as we launch more and more feature areas with the Redwood experience, that you'll see these familiar UX patterns happening over and over again. And again, those same patterns you'll see with other Oracle products as Redwood is adopted across all of the suite. So here I'm just going to do a quick search, looking for my company. So I'm going to open up this one, and here I'm just wanted to highlight that, again, another benefit with Redwood is we get keyboard accessibility features out of the box. So I'm tabbing now to show you and arrow interactions that I can interact with the fields in this form based on my keyboard. So if I go into the all contact fields, I can make the changes that I'm looking for. I'm just typing here, so you can see all of that happening. Okay, which I think is cool for all your keyboard geeks out there like me. Okay, and then also just to highlight our upload wizard. So you'll see the same wizard in contacts, but here we're having an upload wizard to guide you through that process of uploading from a file, uploading counts or contacts from a file. So the same, you can review what's in the file. You can choose how you're going to map everything, how you're going to update things. We've also fixed issues where you can now be sure that you can enter multiple notification recipients. Okay, so that's the wizard. And then just over to microsites. So there's you know, I don't really want to dig in too much to microsites because you're probably not changing them that often. But just to highlight this type of pattern again that you'll start to see. So where we have a list of objects on the left and the details displaying on the right, you'll have search interactions available within those lists. You can get into editing the details available. And just highlighting, you know, you can view the dependencies as well if they had them. And then also highlighting that we're not able to get rid of all of those old legacy screens just yet, but we know customers, you're still using these features and they will still be accessible from Redwood. So I did just want to highlight that. There'll be some other things still there to do. Okay, so that's the main areas, and I did mention the campaign settings, which is just a single screen here. So just to show that. Okay, similar form. All right. So let's talk a little bit more about the controlled availability. Maybe. Here we go. Okay, so again, we're launching this as a controlled availability program. Why do you want to join? Well, I mean, I'm hoping you want to preview the latest in that experience, start getting familiar with it. You might want to start updating your own internal resources with screenshots or information with the latest UX. And every release as we go here, new feature areas are going to be added into that CA. So this is also a chance for you to give your feedback as we go and to get, again, that early access with every release. And it leads into this next point that the Redwood experience really is going to have a dynamic release schedule. So that means that features will become generally available at different schedules. So that means that as a feature will move through this type of cycle. So we'll have a CA release where the feature comes in and it's behind that switch, that Redwood experience switch that I showed you. It'll eventually move into a GA state. And when that happens, the screen is no longer available behind that switch. Everyone is going to get those screens and that UX available to them. So we know that is a change for all of your users. So you'll get at least one release notice about a feature area going into the GA stage of this cycle. And then as we have more releases, more features are going to come in the CA and more features are going to go out to the GA. So it is pretty dynamic. So I wanted to give you just a preview of generally what we're looking at here for the roadmap. So 23B, as I already talked about, what we're launching. But as we look into the rest of this calendar year, we'll have some of those features going GA. And again, you'll start to get notice about that in the next release. And then you'll have more features coming into CA. So fields and views, external activities, email groups. And then we're also getting into campaigns, a campaign launch pad, as well as simple campaigns. So that's just a really quick view of where we're going with that. And I hope you join. If you have any problems or questions, reach out. I know we're pretty much at time here. I do know, I do apologize. I know customers have been requesting it and that they maybe got some pushback from support. We've sorted that all out. So please do make your request. They will turn it on for you once the 23B release is available in your pod. And that was it for me.
That's it, huh? Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
that is so awesome. Yeah, it's gonna just be on repeat in my head for the rest of the day. That and Alex's program, I think we can, yeah, lots of good stuff. Thank you so much, Alexa. Really appreciate it.
No problem.
Let's see. Yeah, well, I know we're past time today. So I will do the follow-up email as we always do with the recorded link from today's session and the registration page set up for next month. Next month, Thursday, May 18th is our next user group. So thank you all for coming today. Really appreciate it and have a good rest of your day. Enjoy.
Thanks, Kristin. Bye.
Bye-bye.